To this week's breakdown with Neil, Leo, and myself, Larry. Talk a little bit about Le Mans this weekend. Welcome to this week's breakdown, guys. We're going to talk a little bit about Moto GP and a little bit about World Superbike. Last week, big weekend in the World Superbike. We had 2 wins for Chaz Davies on the Ducati out there.
Yes, sir.
Kawasaki was trailing behind. You got Johnny Ray and Tom Sykes fighting for a win also. But it was a big win because it took place in Imola, real close to the Ducati factory. And Ducati was a 1 and 2, so it was a big weekend for us in Italy. And also coming off for Jerez, we're talking about Le Mans today. We just left Spain. Valentino Rossi took the pole in Spain and also the win. The old man's doing it.
The doctor.
They're saying that he can't do it, but he's still out there going fast, and he led pretty much every lap for the race. And I think Lorenzo was about 3 seconds behind.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to head over to Le Mans this weekend. What do you think about that?
I'll be honest, I'm loving what's happening right now. Personally, I think what's going to happen in the front, especially with Lorenzo throwing down the fastest lap today. You got Marquez chomping at the bit. Rossi's fallen off a little bit, but I think we're talking about the weather, Larry.
Hurts.
I know. It hurts me too.
I'm old.
But
I want the old guy to win, man. Come on.
One of the main things I see with Valentino Rossi is that he's always stuck in there really hard. And coming into this season, I think he's even more fired up to get that 10th championship. It's definitely on the line with him. He's always been a consistent rider, but we can really see him holding on, making those wins. As he showed in Jerez, he's still fired. He's ready.
Oh, yeah.
He's ready to go.
The one thing I can tell you guys, watching him race for such a long time, and the way he goes about his racing and his style, he is a surgeon. So coming off this win at Jerez, it was a big win for him because he hasn't been on the pole for a while.
Yep.
And to wrap up the win at that race also, I think he's really charged. He knows what he's up against. He's got another 2-year contract with Yamaha. Now we got Lorenzo going to Ducati next year. So,
big things.
It's screaming in the paddocks, man. Right now it's war. I'm sure Lorenzo wants to go away from Yamaha with a win before he starts with the Ducati race team. But it's going to be pretty exciting. My pick for the weekend, I'm going to go with the doctor for sure.
Solid. People are pulling for him. I, again, love the guy. He's been in it forever. Personally, though, again, I'm kind of a Marquez fan. He's cleaned up his act. Not as loose as he used to be, but I love the loose riders.
Definitely riding a lot better for sure.
Hopefully he picks the right tires. We'll see what happens.
Tires is a big issue right now. Since the switch to Michelin, I think the last few races that we've had, there's been a lot of issues with tires. Last week it was Lorenzo. He had no traction, and they had some problems in Texas where the front ends were tucking. But I'll tell you, we'll go back to the doctor. I'm going to say it once again, he rode on Michelins for years. I think he understands the development of the tire and the technology a little bit better, and I just think that's key this weekend in Le Mans. But rain's going to play a big part. On a rainy day, Ducati seem to fare real well, and they've got a great power plant right now. The team's doing very well. The bikes are awesome. I'm just hoping somebody can win. Make it exciting,
Absolutely.
I just want to see an exciting race.
Exactly.
I don't want to see anybody really run away with it, but the doctor would be the guy for sure.
It's tough with those rain races. You never know what's going to happen and stuff. People changing in, changing out, working on the one tire to the wet tire to the dry tire. Plays a factor in a lot of those
Switching
races.
bikes, man. You guys remember last year, they already had the bike in the paddock with the rain tires, and I seen Marquez, boy, that guy was hopping off one, getting
That's
on the
pretty
other.
cool dismount remount.
That's what it really takes. You got to be able to dismount and mount the other bike fast and get back on the track to win the race. But I think one of the big questions this year is who's going to be able to dethrone Jorge Lorenzo. I guess there's a few players out there. Marc Marquez is a player. Valentino Rossi, after what happened last year, I can tell you, consistency is his game, but he definitely needs to win some races.
Yes, he does.
And I think he's a player this year. But definitely, Jorge Lorenzo, we can't count him out. As much as I really don't like the guy, we can't count him out. Marc Marquez, I love Marc Marquez.
Always.
The guy's loose, he's wild, but I just want to see the doctor win.
That's the thing I think this season too, as well, with Marc Marquez being behind. We're going to see him, maybe with him being too loose, too aggressive in conditions like this with different weather and stuff like that. We've seen it time and time again. Take it back to last year in Argentina and stuff like that, him colliding with Valentino Rossi. You know what I mean? He's going to play it tight. He's going to play it aggressive. Sometimes too aggressive to where he might take himself out of the race.
And that has shown. We've seen it. The guy, let's not argue about it. The guy, he can ride, but I think at this point in time, if he's reaching to get to that championship, sometimes he reaches too far, and he rides a little bit over his head, and he puts a wheel down, and that can cost him a championship this year.
And I do love that style, loose as a goose. All right, and definitely want to say thanks so much for watching this week's episode. For myself, for Larry, for Leo, Let's drop the flag, start racing this weekend.
Yes, off to the races.
Sign off.